Hey everybody, happy 4th of July. Martin Chuck here, coming to you for the Modern Golf Show. You know what we're going to do? We're going to get right started with some zombie smashing. What do you say we go smash a few zombies, Steve? You know, here they come. I've got some zombies at 31 yards. This is all about rhythm and tempo. And watch as I light these guys up. Boom! Oh, that's a little too strong. So when they get a little closer, they get going a little faster. You know it. So I rattled up some cages right there. We got some at 25 yards. And I'm just kind of going through this. Going to make this guy thinks he's coming at me. I don't think so. Oh. Darn it. He got to me. Game over. I got a little too big for my britches there, Steve. I'm talking to my producer, Steve, right here. He's helping me out. Steve, thanks so much for your help. You know, I really thought that was going to be a longer episode. And I got... I'm going to lay some blame on you there, brother, because I think, I should have had a little bit more of a warm-up, but that's okay. But this episode is all about tempo and rhythm. You know, it's fascinating. I've been coaching now for 35 years, and I've helped so many golfers, okay? Believe it or not, I've helped so many golfers by speeding up their backswing. And now you think, well, Martin, that's crazy. I thought we're all supposed to be low and slow. I thought we were supposed to take it back really slowly. Well, rarely, I'm going to say 1 in 200 that come to the golf school, we actually say, hey, you know what? Simmer down now. Simmer, donna. Okay, but usually we have to speed people up. Why is that? Because there's quite an event, an athletic event of getting the golf club going. I'm going to hit a little shot here for you. And we're going to talk about this. And over the golf ball face on down the line, to get this club moving, and I'm going to give you some numbers here off my quad. I'll just kind of talk you through this. So if I full send a 7-iron, so that's 164 in the air, the ball speed's 116, okay? The athletic event of doing that at my old age, of 51 years old, that takes a little bit of muscular effort. Now, you say, well, Martin, maybe I'm not that muscular. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'm a little skinny. Who knows what? I don't care. There are some great ball smashing tour players that would not win a telephone book ripping contest. Okay, I think of Justin Thomas as one, yet he rips the cover off the ball. Maybe can't quite tear a phone book in half. Now, what's going on there? So, folks, we've got an event that we have to create some reciprocating motion in a golf swing. There's a backswing motion, obviously a downswing motion. We need a stretch factor in our swing. We need this rotation phase where we wind this body up and a counter rotation phase before our body goes into extension. So really important. Now we talk about tempo. What is tempo? Tempo is kind of like a ratio, that most golfers have, and we're going to talk. I'm going to put one of my fun little devices in here. Super favorite gizmos here. Let me show you what this is. This is called the Reflex Arc. Super proud of my friend George Goebel. He called me about 10 years ago, and George is from New Jersey, and he said, Martin, I've got this idea. What do you think about hitting moving golf balls? And I thought, well, it's interesting. A great coach in Northern California, a really good player too, by the name of Chris Moe. Chris used to roll golf balls at students to make them react more. Now I've got this set up for kind of short shots at the moment. I'll explain. As I move the paddle back, the ball gets presented. It's basically presented in a 2-to-1 ratio. And this is the same kind of ratio you'll use when you putt and when you hit short shots, because so many people, let me hit a couple shots to kind of give you an example here. As I move the club into the paddle, the ball gets pushed, and then I go ahead and hit it. And when you watch that, let me do a few in a row so you kind of get the idea of the rhythm of this. Right now, even the pitch shot, these short little shots, that's an athletic event. So that's a crispy little strike. That is a nice combination of backswing energy and through swing energy that can collect the ball out the middle of the face. Now, we do that with a pitching wedge. A lot of shots around the green, 2-to-1 ratios. Those shots that are kind of, chest high to chest high on both sides. I call that the Cornerstone Drill, right? Those ratios that, the backswing might be 0.5, the downswing might be 0.25. So that ratio, 2-to-1 ratio into impact. Now, of course, when we build a swing up, we're going to have more of a 3-to-1, or some tour players, it's even higher, but that's not my preference. So let me explain a couple of things on how you can really improve your game by understanding these relationships. If I put a putter down here in front of me, I've got my trusty even roll putter, and I hold this ball, and this ball's going to come out at me. You know, that's the same relationship. I love, you know, this is so new, I haven't had a chance to use it with my students in the golf school, but you can be darn sure I'm going to. I'm going to set this up on the green. Now, when you hit full shots, you need to use it on a mat, but you can chip with it, you can putt with it off turf, outside, it's great. But when you're hitting full shots, taking divots, obviously a mat, we'll throw a mat down on the driving range at the golf school for full shots. But on the putting green, to sit here and to challenge our students with whatever tempo I want to dial in. Because I can take the app, because it's app-based. Now, the good thing is, I'm not really an Android guy. Let me turn this on and unlock it. But I can change all the ratios to whatever I want. If I want Ernie Els, I'm going to roll up to camera 1 face on if you don't mind and put that right up there. So those are ratios, okay, and that's that tasty beverage right there. But those are swing ratios, backswing, downswing, and I have the ability just to control those, put in whatever I want. Now, you'd be mind blown, absolutely mind blown, if I was to put in, say, Ernie Els, and then you set up to a golf shot to hit it, and you'd be absolutely amazed at the event, be like, whoa, what happened there? There's no way Ernie hits the ball that fast. Then I would show you exactly how Mr. Big Easy, okay, Ernie Els has this very, very dynamic backswing that gives him this fantastic turn and this responsive delivery back to the ball in pretty much the traditional ratio of 3-to-1. Now, 3-to-1 isn't exact, but it's a generality. You know, John Novosel and John Novosel Jr., there's a couple of golf family that I've gotten to know a little bit over the years, wrote a fantastic book called Tour Tempo. Tour Tempo, I think if you get it, you'll really enjoy it, because he, I guess the father worked for, I want to say CBS, I could be wrong, forgive me, but he was a cameraman when all cameras filmed pretty much at like almost 30 frames per second, and he noticed something pretty cool, that all tour players had relationships of backswing to downswing. If their backswing took 27 frames, click, 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 27, their downswing, click, 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 pretty much took 9, that 3-to-1 relationship. If their backswing took 21, Freddie Couples, okay, their downswing pretty much took 7. If it was 18, Tiger Woods, and got down to the ball at around 6, there's your 3-to-1. Now, everybody is a little bit different. Of course, there's anomalies. You've got the lovely Nancy Lopez. I used to love watching her as a little kid, and you know, in the 80s, late 70s, 80s, and she had this swing where, you know, you could go for a sandwich and a coffee in the backswing. She took it up to the top, all kind of hitchy-like, but she managed to get the club back on the ball beautifully and was a dominant player. You know, modern players that play like that, Hideki Matsuyama is kind of interesting. Hideki gets set up to it, has a pretty brisk position to the top, kind of stops, and then proceeds to smash it from there. So everybody's a little bit different, but what's kind of nice is now we have the means and the way to kind of help people program them in and say, hey, you know, we tested you. This is your best tempo. And you've got a delivery device that sends golf balls to you to see whether or not you can be reliable. You know, everybody says to me when they come to golf school, hey, Martin, I want to be consistent. And I say, okay, consistency is fantastic, but what is it? You know, it's the ability to reliably get your club on the golf ball. So whether you're using these ratios that are, say, 2-to-1 for short game stuff like a putt, this kind of a shot where the club works back, the ball gets pushed out, and away it goes, or we start to get into the more full swing ratios like a ripper Rory Mcilroy. And Stephen, can we shoot to Rory Mcilroy's video right now if you don't mind? Let's take a look at Rory, okay? So I love this. This is when he's getting ready to, you know, this is such a send. Like this event of the energy required okay, and I slow this down a little bit, but there's such an athletic heave going on here physically to get this club going back. If you think this is low and slow, I've got some swampland in Florida to sell you. I'm just kidding. But this is athleticism at its best right here. You know, he's got this kind of, just gonna wind this thing up, and that coils his shoulders beautifully and gets him in this fantastic position. You know, Rory's in that 18-6, 21-7 category, 3-to-1 ratio. And just look at the athleticism as he's about to smash it with the hat on backwards and, you know, just getting, this was videos probably from like, say, a month ago, I want to say, when it was okay to go play golf where he lives. But let's go ahead and save that for a second. I'm going to change the ratio on this. I'm going to go to mine. We're going to have a little fun. I'm going to miss a few golf balls. I'm going to hit a few golf balls. And I want to kind of walk you through some of these things. So what I love about this device is it kind of wakes up the body. You know, it says, okay, Martin, I'm going to have a setting here, and you're going to have to deal with this setting. So I'm going to change it from the 2-to-1 from putting. So like I was saying, if I had a student and a newbie came out and I said, okay, Mr. or Mrs. Student, we've got a 30-footer right here, and I'm going to set them a ratio up. If I see them take the putter back really slow and stab it forward, I'm going to get it to where they miss the golf ball. I'm going to get it to where they have a kind of a consistent motion back and through. Because guess what? That rhythm, that tempo is the same for a short putt and a long putt. It's not a situation where you take the putter back slow and then stab it through. It's one where even a short putt, you know, the putt that long, it's the same kind of thing as a putt that goes, a putt that goes across the green. A putt that goes across the green is just a bigger rhythm, as is a chip shot, as is a pitch shot. So going into more of a full swing relationship here, let me log in and tune this thing up, get myself warmed up to really send it. I'm going to go to my, let's see, I'm going to go to my backswing is about 0.66 seconds. So get that tuned in right there. And then I'm going to go to the delivery speed of the ball relative to my swing. So this is basically a relationship that is 3-to-1 and pretty robust. Let's see how this is set up. And I'll hit a few for you. And then we'll take a look at some other great players that have really robust swings. Now I know so many out there want to swing super slow. I get it. Let's see if that's a little bit more heated up. There we go. Now we're not fooling. Let's put this thing aside and let's hit a few shots. So now, here's the beauty of this. And I'm sorry this looks like an infomercial for the Reflex Arc, but I'm so excited about this product to help you play better golf. You know, right now, the only really sad thing is it's not available for left-handed golfers. It's a one-way device. So as I get this loaded up here, ready to go, now I've missed these before, but this requires my muscular event of a backswing to get this club on the golf ball. And I missed, no doubt about it. So guess what? I was a little bit late. So what I need to do is be just a fraction faster. Okay? Do you want to hit it farther? You have to swing the club faster. Elements of that are backswing. Elements of that are downswing. So now that I'm prepared, I just hit one. Let's see if I can flush a couple in a row for you. Get my body ready to go. There's my waggle, looking at the target, ready to go. Let's see how I do. And that was hit really nicely. So that is a perfect primer for consistency. Because now when I just put a ball in place, if I hit a few on the delivery device, the Reflex Arc, and why George called it the Reflex Arc is because he wants to help you take something from conscious and bridge it to subconscious. No more stinking thinking during your golf swing. Responsive, look at the target, fire. Take away the 8 million thoughts. And I know, but you're thinking, well, Martin, you're a coach. You're supposed to give us 8 million thoughts. Of course I am. I'm here to help you with technique, but when you're over the golf ball, I want you to be the athlete that you are. And through certain training devices, you watch my stuff. You know I've invented a handful of them. Well, I'm super happy when other people, whether this fellow was a financial advisor with a passion for golf, and he recognized this need. I've seen other people do some amazing things in the golf business that just had. I've got a great one on my desk right now from another person that was not a golf pro. So there's always a need to be met, and there's a question to be answered. And this kind of athletic event, to go ahead and rip a shot athletically. So this is me feeling like an athlete hitting a shot. You know, and that's a very, very solid 7-iron. If you have something that can help you go from striking it, taking a break, feeling what the correct relationship is with the ball coming at you, moving, presenting exactly at a spot where it should be based on consistency, guess what? That's how you become consistent. Now, the beauty of something like this, when I've taken newbies and I've said, okay, newbie, here's, people have said, hey, Martin, you've got a nice golf swing. And I go, thank you. And I said, would you like to experience what it's like to swing like me? And they said, well, that would be nice. And I said, okay, here you go. Settle in here, ready to go, and let's move the golf ball. Let's move the golf ball, or move the club rather, and let the golf ball present, and that ball is so between their legs before they've even taken the club back, right? And I've heard more high-level players, now I'm talking high-level players, not necessarily high-level coaches, big difference. The great Colin Montgomery won the European Order of Merit 7 or 8 times in a row. Basically, he took the Brinks truck to the bank every year in Europe, okay? Fantastic player. Didn't have so much success in the U.S. because I think our steak and kidney pie and our Boston cream and the steak and kidney pie and the coconut cream pies weren't as good in the United States. Just my philosophy on that. But he would constantly say, you have to take it back low and slow, take it back low and slow. Now, the interesting thing about Colin is I thought, okay, I don't know about that. I actually recorded him, and I used a counter. And the last thing he was for a big lad was low and slow. He had a very fast swing on both sides of the ball. Of course he did, because he hit it far. You want to hit it far, you got to move the club fast. To move the club fast from a dead stop, that's pretty tricky. To move the club fast from a responsive event, that's how you're going to move it faster. Now you're like, okay, Martin, I don't want to be too fast. Everybody says I'm too quick, right? What happens when you're too quick? Quickness, think about it. Quickness could be the difference from one direction to the other. That's quick. If you go back super slow, say you have 100-mile-an-hour swing speed, and you take the club back, and all of a sudden you try to pour it up, you try to get it up to 100 too quick, good chance you will feel out of sorts and not have an appropriate timing that allows you to smoothly accelerate the golf club into the ball. That's probably likely. Now, say that you have more of the event that you saw Rory Mcilroy, or tell you what, let's put Matthew Wolff up, Stephen. Took this video from my friend George. There we go, George Gankis. Now let's watch this a few times. If you don't think this is a fast backswing, that thing is getting to the top faster than most of y'all swing it on the downswing, right? Now he has got this great hip primer, this great Elvis hip primer move, but this event that helps helps Matthew take the club up to the top, that club is moving, people. That's why he hits it so far. Now most of the club golfers, right? They look at that and go, ooh, that looks pretty good. That's an odd-looking golf swing. I look at that golf swing and I go, man, that's fantastic. You know why that's fantastic? It's athletic. It's got some backswing speed. He doesn't zip it inside on the takeaway. In fact, he's got an even more exaggerated takeaway than my old friend Jim Furyk. And so he makes Jim Furyk look like Jim Furyk. So this backswing's going back. It's fast and it's outside his hands as he develops a big turn. And as George calls it, he absolutely eats the ground in transition before he extends and smashes it. So let's go back to 2 cameras. Let's talk about this. When you see that, when you see grace, when you see athletic motion, I got to give Mikhail Baryshnikov a lesson one time. Mikhail Baryshnikov, famous dancer. You probably heard of him, okay? Super strong, super flexible, beautiful timing, rhythm, and balance. When you see somebody like Rory Mcilroy melt a driver, it's so amazing because it is so fast and athletic, but yet it's in a beautiful balance. And Matthew Wolff, you know, we look at that swing and we go, okay, this golf club does get a little bit, you know, the club goes up in a pretty high, in a pretty fast pace. Boom, that thing is up. That's not low and slow going back. Low and slow traditionally gets people around too much. They get their shoulders turned too flat, and then the response from that is one where they get steep, stand the club up, get over the top, and then it's some sort of trying to fit the club on the ball. And some of you get pretty good at that, I got to admit. You know, coaching golf for as long as I have and watching all the golf schools that I do and, you know, helping all the students, a few hundred every year at the golf schools. The commonality about the folks is this. Here's one of the, you know, Jim McLean's a buddy of mine. Jim's a great coach. He calls one of his death moves, putting a nail in the coffin right there. When you zip it inside of the flat shoulder turn, the response, it's typically a slow backswing that gets the club, its balance way out of balance, and then you're fighting the club the whole way. You know, reflecting back on Rory Mcilroy, obviously one of the most beautiful swings I've ever seen. Sam Snead, Tiger Woods, those kind of swings, very much in balance in most every swing they take. Now, Tiger obviously tries to smash the odd one out of his shoes, which is kind of fun to watch sometimes, but the club itself is traveling nicely relative to his hand path and his body, etc. So the rhythm of the backswing, let's go to Jack Nicklaus. Let's bring up my favorite golfer of all time. Absolutely, Jack Nicklaus, okay? So he's not exactly a spring chicken right here, but I love this swing. Watch where the club head goes. Is that club head zipped in behind him? I think not. This club head is traveling up. He's got some, and it's going up in a hurry, and then there's an element of shallowing right there. And that's why Jack, you know, at 70 whatever he is, and forgive me, maybe he's even, I hate to say it, maybe he's even 80. You know, I want to say, and let me think about this. I played in the U.S. Junior in 1986. At Muirfield Village. He was 46 then, so that was 34 years ago. So there you go. He's about 80 years old. That's pretty fantastic. So he's getting that club up in a hurry, pretty vertical, to allow for some fun things to happen. You know, so when you are, what do you want to think about to develop these things? What are the feels you need? Because I want to kind of walk you through this, okay? Go to the range, and please, when you go to the range and practice, don't be afraid of missing. Missing is okay. I want to kind of help you understand how to move the golf club, knowing that moving the golf club with precision is tricky, but if you're not being ultra careful, okay? George Knudsen, my mentor, would say, give up control to gain control. If you're not being ultra careful, we have this sense of athleticism and readiness. Like, I know if I'm going to take this club back with any force, my body kind of goes, okay, you're ready. You got to be ready for this. Get your good hands on there and have a sense of, put some push into that ground. I don't want this arms just doing all the work, picking it up, okay, and then... You see that one, hon? Yeah, it's right there in front of you. No, I want you to feel like you've got some pressure in your feet and a sense of heave that can help you move this golf club up with some pace, people. And this energy of pushing into the ground, this commitment to turning, helps stretch everything out, turn your shoulders. Now it's like a rubber band. Once that rubber band is wound up, guess what? You've got something to unwind, okay? So getting set up over the shot. I really am a big fan of getting organized, feeling some pressure in the feet. There's readiness right there. Now, I know that, you know, hitting some golf balls on the Reflex Arc there a minute ago, it's easy to transfer that sense of speed that I need to go ahead and smash one. Let me just move this out of the way for a moment and put a couple golf balls. I'll just read these numbers for you. We got a little technical issue trying to get Foresight on our screen today, so apologize for that. All the technical stuff when you do these episodes. So this is me. I feel like I'm going to move and heave that paddle right out of the way. You know, so that's a pretty melty 7-iron for me. 164 in the air, ball speed 117, 91 miles an hour of swing speed. Not too shabby for my tender age. And I hate to keep saying it, but you know, in order to move the golf club, and I'm not the biggest dude in the world either, but in order to move the golf club, you've got to become an athlete, and you can't be afraid of that energy in the backswing, because if you fix the energy in the backswing, a lot of cool things sort themselves out. When you go back super slow, all of a sudden you can bend up everything. Then whatever you wind up, you've got to unwind, okay? But when you have some momentum and energy, some of this press and heave, now the body's stretched out, it's got way more response to get into the lead side before you unwind, open up, and smash a golf ball. So really, really important. Rhythm, tempo, relationships of timing. What I want you to do, grab your 7-iron. This is this week's homework, everybody, okay? Well, you know what, I'll grab a 9-iron. We'll do it with a 9-iron. I want you to think of the relationships of 2 to 1. So basically the sensation of, you know, this relationship of back and through. There's your 2 to 1 relationship right here. And as you settle into a golf ball, trail foot on the ball, club face in hands, and now as you get comfortable in these short little pitch shots, here's my little sense of 1, 2, hold. Hold, 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 hold. I tell people to hold all the time, okay? 1, 2, hold. And I want you to go ahead and do that again. Get set up. Create great arm math. Don't come in here and get all cozy and, you know, milk the grip. Get that club in your hands. Get that club off the ground. Give it a waggle. Feel the weight of it so your supercomputer knows what you're doing. Then you're in here. Backswing is 1, 2 is the strike. Hold. Hold, hold, hold again, all right? Start to feel those relationships. That's the relationship of a putt. That's the relationship of most shots around the green. Years ago, I did a video for Revolution Golf that got a lot of views, and it was basically a routine that started off behind the golf ball for a pitch shot and walked people in the same kind of way, but it worked in a few looks to the target. Trail foot, club face in hands, left foot, right foot back. This is a pitch, so it's a narrow stance. Take a look, ball, 1, 2, hold. So I want you to do 30 of those. 30 of those, okay? You can do this. Now, what you're going to find is you're going to kind of waver. You're going to be like 1, 2. It's amazing how really smart people like you watching this can't count. I mean it. It's kind of funny how the 2 happens somewhere nebulous over here. It doesn't happen on the ball. 1, the O-N-E is backstroke. The acceleration to 2 is impact. Over here, let's hold. Please don't try to keep your head down, okay? I want you to look at what you're about to touch, that thing. Go ahead and get organized. Trail foot, club face and hands. Take a look at the target, back to the ball. Maybe one more look. 1, 2, hold. I collected the ball. My head was down for a second. Guess what? Ball's on its merry way. Now, once you can do a few of those, let's go to the bigger swings, okay, the 3 to 1s. Now, when you get over the 3 to 1s, guess what? They're not here. They're not kind of under your chest. You've got to have enough momentum to heave this thing up in space without letting all your arms collapse. And that's where it's going to be sort of a 1 and 2. You need that and. You need that extra time before the 2. Okay, so get organized. Look at your target, get set. 1 and 2. And go ahead and give it a rip. And that little and gives you that little extra time to develop the swing. Get it up to the top to stretch all this out before you put some, eat the ground like George Ganka says and push off into your finish. We need that little bit of extra time for the full shots. So Martin Chuck here, giving you some insights on rhythm and tempo. And I know everybody talks about, oh, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, just swing easy. But people, you think Bryson DeChambeau is swinging easy right now? You think Rory Mcilroy is swinging easy? They're not swinging easy. You know why you swing easy? You swing easy because you want to get the face on the ball, and I respect that. But I want you to get the face on the ball where it goes far. So I need you to take on some risk, certainly in practice, so that you start to build a little confidence and you can be consistent. So we can get this club moving, okay? Got to get the club moving, got to feel like the athlete that you are. So you know what your homework is. Martin Suck signing off. I'm going to smash a couple 7-irons in the send-off here. I hope that you have a great and safe and awesome 4th of July weekend amid this crazy COVID time. But I tell you what, let's go ahead. I tell you, should we kill some zombies? Or should we end? Let's go ahead and pepper some zombies. I'm ready for you, zombies. Here they come out of the crypt. I'm ready to pop, 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 pop. You know what? They are like sitting ducks right now. Let's see. We got a little 80-yarder. Here's a 1-2. Maybe that's a tick short. Maybe. Look at that. Boom. Just lay waste to these guys. A little bit more center right into the middle of their... What is a zombie? Is it a lair? A crypt? They have... Oh, they live in hives. That's what they live in. Land right on that guy. Oh, did I not get that one? Here we go. There's some 1-2s right there. Oh, yeah. Play this game forever. I got cocky last time. That's what I'm talking about right there. Just smash potatoes here. Come on. Show me. I got you guys. I know where you live. I know where you are. You're at 61 yards. How about a little of this? How about a little of that right there? 61 yards. So how am I hitting these shots and kind of smashing zombies? I got one guy that I just kind of overhit, so he's going to be all coming at me here in a second, so I got to wait for him. His name's Charlie. I've gotten to know him, actually. So 75 yards. I'm going to go Charlie on the left. 75 yards. I a little 2-to-1 here. And that is going to be in Charlie's front pocket. All right, there you go, Charlie. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so anyway, you guys, good fun. You're going to have some fireworks on 4th of July. Stay safe. I'm going to have some fireworks whacking some zombies in my garage here. My son Jackson loves this game. You know, a little shout out to my sponsors. You know, for the zombie game, we got Foresight Sports, Nike Apparel. Thank you very much. And I have a new club relationship, a new golf club relationship I'm super excited about. Hanma Golf. Hanma Golf. Japanese manufacturers of some lovely equipment. They've got a great office in Carlsbad, California, and I'm super excited. Are these zombies getting close? You know what? Let me see if I can just put one right there in the belly of that guy in the middle. 46 yards on a 2-to-1. What do you say, Steven, right here? That's boom. Take him out. And on that note, I want to wish you guys a great day right there. That's what I'm talking about.